Get up, Mr. Naruhodo! Please! The trial isn't over yet! What do you mean, Mr. Sato? What about the information I found in this encyclopedia of British law I have? That obscure right that it belongs to the defense in these situations. Remember? The summation examination. How do you forget that? Summation examination. Yes, that's right. We don't have a jury in Japanese courts, of course. But here in a British court of law, we can reverse the decisions of the majority of the jurors. We can force the trial to continue. This trial can't end now. Oh, we'll get a good look at the little mousy friend when he's pacing back and forth, I think. Whatever it takes. I just can't let that happen. The defense moves to invoke its right to a summation examination, my lord. Why am I not surprised at my learned Nipponese friend's inability to admit defeat? You choose to cling desperately to some archaic rule you barely comprehend instead of accepting the truth. Certainly no other defense counselors in recent times has exercised the right to a summation examination. Yeah, well, they're lazy. Because they all know that once the jurors' minds is set, it cannot be altered. Nevertheless, the right remains and must be upheld. Defense counsel's request is granted. This court will proceed with the summation examination, as outlined in the Encyclopedia of British Law. Thank you, my lord. Are you and your fellows prepared, Mr. Foreman? Believe me, my lord. What was it? Believe me, my lord. We know all about this young lad's tenacity. And we're ready for it. Very well. In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby call upon each of you. State the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime for which he stands accused. Okay. Judicial findings. What? Was that what it was always called? Like they may not be well off, but he's a noble man, straight up. There's no reason to doubt the man. Well, I do declare the good gentleman has no reason to lie. In fact, I think he's rather splendid. Just look at the accused by comparison. He's Japanese, stoops all the while, and has a mustache. Very fishy. There's no evidence to suggest the gangling act is a fraudsman. For now, at least. I really don't care. I just need this trial to end quickly. 3 hours of missing time is nothing when you reach my age, you know. Nothing at all. Good, helpful, very helpful, all of you. I knew it. Every single one of them seems completely convinced. Well, no, one of them doesn't seem convinced, but... It would seem that all the jurors have come to the conclusion that Mr. Shakespeare is a fine, upstanding, and honest citizen. You ask me, they've all been bewitched by his strange theatrical movements. And sadly, nothing Mr. Natsume has said appears to have registered at all. Well, here goes. Let's not forget. I've pleaded with the jury on Soseki-san's behalf before, and it worked. So you never know. Before we begin, it might be an idea for me to remind you exactly how a summation examination works, Mr. Naruhodo. I don't need it. Well, you're still very new to British law, after all. No, I don't need it. That's true, I suppose. And Soseki-san's fate is entirely in my hands now, too. There's always a chance I might have forgotten some crucial details. Perhaps she hears Susato out. I wonder, should I let her talk me through it again, or not bother? No! We'll figure it out. Thank you for the kind offer, Mrs. Sato. But I've been through plenty of these summation examinations already now. I think it's important. Don't delay the start any longer necessary. Of course, I understand. And I'm quite sure you're right. If you're confused by anything at any point, you can turn to me for advice whenever you like. I'll be here for you. Susato. Key to this is really listening carefully to each juror's statement. Finding two that are contradictory, and pitting the corresponding jurors against each other. Okay. Without further ado, please, counsel, proceed with the summation examination. It's about, okay, I don't recall there being two things that contradicted each other, but... See, the rat's attached to his shoulder! Is his hands... He's got his hands on his hips. He's a noble man, there's no reason to doubt him. I do declare the good gentleman has no reason to lie.
Just look at the accused like appearance, and he's Japanese, all white and fishy.
There's no evidence to suggest the gangly actor is a fraudster for now, at least.
I don't care. Oh, 3 hours of mission time, it's nothing. I can press people at least. Let me press everyone then. Alright, dude, let me save. Okay. Oh my god, wrong button. Wrong button, excuse me, I'm sorry. Well, there are plenty of people in London who seems noble but poor. Couldn't some of them also be liars? I've no doubt about it. Like that shaky client of yours, for example. Absolutely not. Mr. Natsume is no liar. Look, the point is, the only thing that passed the victim's lips that night was that Japanese man's tea. When you take the gas man's testimony into account as well, the truth couldn't be any clearer. Oh well, that's alarmingly logical. Let me be frank here. I'm a gentleman with a gentleman's values. Turns out that the old Shakespeare chum is a rotten liar after all. I gladly changed my decision about the defendant. And I'm sure my fellow gentlemen on the jury would do the same. Isn't that right?
Well, yes, perhaps. Though I don't see it happening.
Hey, what's that? Elderly gent on the end here, you know. You'll have to speak up. Look, I really don't care about all this nonsense. I just need this trial a bit over. How many gentlemen do we actually have on the jury, then? Alright, sir. I may hold you to that. Don't forget what you said. Okay, so we just need to, like, okay. Show me the victim's a liar. Okay, so I'm gonna have to present something to you in a bit. I don't know exactly what, but I do have to present something to you in a bit. Are you saying that you believe that the man to be trustworthy because he's rather splendid?
No, that's not what I said. The point is, the man is the victim here. What reason would he have to lie? And yes, he is rather splendid.
So you say, yet again.
Meanwhile, the man who stands accused behaves so suspiciously. It's exhausting to look at him. I'm afraid he's not splendid at all.
Splendid logic there, madam. Thank you so much. Japanese and I'm racist. No. Not one of those things is a reason to find a man guilty.
But he's fishy. There's no point dancing around that fact. He's Japanese, he has a mustache, and he stoops. You see, you arrive at a conclusion in just 3 steps. 3 steps, like a waltz in fact. You know, the more I think about it, the more this trial seems like a dance.
What are you fucking talking about, man? You seem to be several steps ahead of yourself, though, and you're on the wrong foot. No, there's nothing but circumstantial evidence here. There's no actual proof of the defendant's guilt. But the victim's version of events is backed up by what that big chin man next to him says, isn't it? 1, he saw the Japanese man there. 2, he saw no one else. And 3, he saw the Japanese man there. Oh, that's another 3 steps. All this really does seem more and more like a waltz, doesn't it? Right, and the prosecution will waltz its way to victory if I let you speak much more.
Evidence a bit for now.
A fraudman? Well, what do you mean by that, madam? I thought he called her a madman.
It really is the most tiresome problem for the company. Most irritating. Can be absolutely certain that a customer is stealing from us, but without hard evidence.
You're the boss of the electric company, whatever. You're the guy, the chin man's boss. That's who he was bowing to. And he's stealing electricity, he's stealing gas or whatever? Fuck. That's why he was peeping on him. That's why the B-man was peeping on him, because he's stealing gas somehow.
We can't even threaten to take action for fear of being sued.
I'm sorry, you've lost me a little there. Who are you?
I'm the wife of Augustus Altamont, owner of the Altamont Gas Company.
Or gracious, Altamont Gas, you say?
Gas is the future of energy in this country and around the globe. But proper handling is essential. As I'm sure our employee from the East End branch office would be the first to agree.
Absolutely, Lady Quimby. Gotta be used properly. Altamont Gas is the best in the world, of course. just realized that his buttons on his vest are like sad faces.
I think we may have solved the mystery of the bow from earlier, Mr. Naruhodo. I questioned it and but none of you guys said anything, so I thought I was the crazy one.
Right. He bowed in deference to his employee's wife, did he? So, would I be right in assuming that the reason Mr. Meterman was watching what Mr. Shamsi was up to in his room?
I'm afraid that there's no end to the lengths the population of the East End will go in order to steal our gas. So I really have no choice when the company identifies someone as a possible fraudsman. But to dispatch a worker to watch the suspect day and night. We're very thorough in our investigations.
So you mean, the Shamspheres?
I wouldn't come out and say it in public.
But you can finish that sentence with a grubby little grubby little gas thief. Oh my god, you're pointing your giant umbrella at the man's face. Calm down. You have noticed the public gallery in here, have you?
The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen.
Faith, wouldst thou wound me with thy words, were I to let them penetrate the skin? But seraphs hear not insults, only choirs of angels in song.
We may not have evidence yet, but my workers won't stop buzzing around until they find it. And when they do, you'll find yourself blasted back to your angelic heights in an Altamont gas explosion.
The Shamsphere has been stealing gas. I wonder, juror number 4, if you wouldn't mind adding that information to your statement.
My pleasure. Was it the bit about ripping that thief apart you enjoyed?
A little before the part about abject violence, if it's not too much trouble.
Yes, of course.
I also, like, yes, I made her fucking Southern, whatever. And it's like a poor Southern accent, but what the fuck ever. I don't know how to, I don't know accents, man. This could be it. This could shift the balance.
The victim puts on a fine performance, but in reality, he's a common thief of my company's gas.
Okay, so is it... Do I... fit these two? Is this it? Wait, before I do, let me go talk to everyone first. Well, maybe I don't want to talk to everyone. Or maybe I'll talk to him. Because the fucking guy in orange literally says nothing of importance. What do you really mean by that, sir? Well, I'm not one to boast, but I get up at 5 every morning, I do. At 5? You're a really early riser then, aren't you? Well, what's that now? I said, you're an early riser. Oh, well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I like to while away the hours in the evening reading books as well. But by about 2 in the morning, I'm usually too tired to go on.
He sleeps at 2 in the morning and gets up at 5. Oh my, that means he only has 3 hours of sleep each night.
What's that, dear?
Only 3 hours of sleep each night.
That's right, you see. 3 hours of missing time, like I said. Not much, is it? This really isn't helping. I don't know. I thought maybe it would have helped.
The key to summation examinations is identifying contradiction between the jurors' statements, Mr. Naruhodo.
Right, and once I found 2 jurors whose statements can't coexist, I need to pit those jurors against each other. Then hopefully, when they see that what they're saying doesn't make sense, they'll change their leaning.
Yes, and if you're able to change the minds of the majority of the jurors, the trial will continue. Conversely, if you're unable to do that, the judge will declare the trial over and move to adjudication. And I can't let that happen. Somehow or the other, I have to turn this trial around.
Turn around. Do I pit him against the lady or do I pit her against the lady? These sound like contradictions. Right? Her and her? Not with him. Those 2 statements are fundamentally at odds with one another, but apparently that's not right? My lord, as a foreman of the jury, I must object. Oh, come on, it's definitely, those 2 are definitely contradictions against each other. One of them is saying the man is splendid, and the other one's saying that he's a fucking grubby-ass thief. Ah, whatever. Gosh. That's stinky. He has said he had no reason to lie. He has a reason to lie. He's fucking a thief. Whatever, fine. Okay, let me go. Can I go this faster? It's so slow. I'm too impatient. Alright, fuck you, lady, whatever. Those two statements clearly contradict each other. I mean, it's not a contradiction. He said, the man changed his statement to say, if you can prove that he's a liar, then I'll change my stance. That's not a contradiction to what the lady said. How is that a... Lord gracious, to whose statement do you refer, counsel? Juror number 1. Hey, what are you yelling about, lad? What's your... Oh, I presume you've heard juror number 4's statement. Maybe made by the wife of the owner of Altamont Gas. Well, yes. The victim, who you claim to be a noble, straight-up man, in fact, turns out to be a common thief. So the good lady says, but there's no evidence, is there? You and I both heard them say as much.
It's true. We don't have evidence as such, just yet. But the claims aren't baseless, you know.
What?
You heard me. Seeing as his operation has already been compromised. I would suggest that the court hears testimony from our East End branch office employee over there.
I'll do whatever you say, milady. Gasman's honor. Stop, that's so annoying. If I worked somewhere, I would not want someone fucking bowing at me every time they said something. Juror number 1, you say you're a man of your word. If I could show that Mr. Shamspeare was a liar, you assured me that you would reconsider your decision about the defendant's guilt. Yes, I did say that. And as a man of honor, I'll hold to it, as I'm sure the other gentlemen of the jury will.
Me? Oh well, yes. Now that we've found out the man's a liar, perhaps we ought to consider the matter further.
Well, if I'm perfectly honest, I haven't heard half of what you've all been saying. So if it means you'll recap a few points, that would suit me down to the ground. Oh no, I'm not having any part in this. I want this trial over and done with.
In that case, I shall change my leaning.
So, Mr. William Shamspeare, that is your real name. We of the jury demand to know exactly what kind of a man you really are. That's 4 jurors. 4 of not guilty.
Yes, Mr. Naruhodo! Victory!
Order! Order! Well, it's quite extraordinary, I must say. As a result of the defense's summation and domination, the jurors' leaning has changed. Now only 2 jurors say guilty, whilst 4 say not guilty. I therefore declare this court to be in a state of disaccord, and order the trial to continue. Let's fucking go! You have spoiled the bouquet, Mr. Shamspeare. I wonder how he was stealing the gas, though. And ladies and gentlemen of the jury now find that they are unable to trust you, the victim. But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. So God mend me, I do swear. This gas man speaketh that which concerns him most. Not but gas, not but thin air. Ay, it burneth bright a while, but it hath no substance, and it doth reek foul. Oi, what you say? You are taken, Mr. Shamspeare. You deny that all allegations of the gas thievery. Most heartedly, my lord, hast thou forgot I am as a seraph, an angel, noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily, honest of heart. You flowery, loudmouth, pompous beanpole, just cause I haven't gotten the evidence yet. Mr. Shamspeare, if in fact you are not noble of mind, sweet of nature, or honest of heart, you are a liar, then your testimony should have no sway in this courtroom. It is my considered opinion that at the present time, no other possible culprits of this crime has been identified. All testimony heard by the court thus far heavily implicate the defendant. In short, it would not be unreasonable at this stage for me to rule on the case.
Oh no!
However, in light of the fact that the jury has expressed concern about the fidelity of this witness, I believe it would be inappropriate for this court not to pursue the point further. I assure you, my lord, that would be a waste of the court's time. The gas in this case are unrelated. Juror number 4.
Yes?
Didn't you say before that although you had no hard evidence to prove this man has been stealing gas, you have strong grounds for suspecting him?
That's right, we do. Don't we, worker?
Absolutely, Lady Quimby. Gasman's honor. Very well then. We will hear your testimony now. You will tell the court precisely why you believe the victim, Mr. William Shakespeare, has been stealing gas. Yes, my lord. It will be my pleasure. On the ultimate
If I may, my lord. What?
Go ahead, madam.
This worker's testimony may have a significant bearing on the good name of my husband's company. Therefore, I should like to take the stand alongside him in a supervisory role, if you wouldn't mind.
Whoa! Oh yeah, sweet as honey! Yeah! You're like too gung-ho about her. You're creepy. Very well. As an exception, I shall honor your request.
Thank you, my lord.
You wait till the boss gives you an earful! Oh, it's gonna sting, you mark my words! So, you will both testify before the court on the subject of the illegal consumption of the Altamont Gas Company's fuel.
Yes. Is that clear, my good man?
Clear as Altamont gas, my lady. Which is the clearest in the world. Stop it. Stop it, you simp. You think the gas has gone to his head, Mr. Susato?
I think the man is just a very dedicated employee, Mr. Naruhodo.